Welcome back to the Connect Show, Twin Cities. Our next guest literally does everything from event planning, graphic design, coaching, party styling, and so much more. Lasha, help me welcome Tonya Coleman from Soiree Event Design to the show. Yes, girlfriend.
Hey, so excited to be here.
Oh,
Welcome. So Natalie mentioned just some of the things that you do, but you wear so many different hats. And how are you balancing all of that? Because you not only make it happen for small businesses, you also work with big brands like Mattel and so many more. How are you doing it?
Well, first of all, I'm a mama of 5. Must I say more? Okay. That's a lot of hats, honey. Okay. So you already know. And I started my business as a single mom. So we learned how to time manage a long time ago. Okay. And then you just pile on the kids and all their schedules. You just learn how to be the jack of all trades and you learn how to do everything really well. So it's kind of come easy, but not with too many bumps in the road.
Well, I'm just excited to pick your brain. I love talking to boss babes. You are the ultimate boss babe. You've done graphic design for some major celebrities like Jamie Foxx, Mariah Carey, Magic Johnson. Was graphic design your first focus when building Soiree?
It was. I actually started my business in Atlanta, Georgia as a single mom. I literally had my infant son on my hip when I went down there, and I started it as a graphic design firm and just blew that up and grew it and grew it. And I was working with lots of record labels down there, lots of celebrities, and then moved to LA and hybrided the company then into both offering graphic design and event planning. So yeah, it started off as graphic design.
Talk about collaborations because, we're all looking to collaborate with brands beyond us and even the top. So what do we do to make that happen? And how did this happen for you?
Yeah, so collaborations is everything, especially for us. We, as women of color, we don't have all the opportunities just laid out in front of us. We really have to utilize our relationships and who we know. And for this particular one, that went against all of it. I didn't know anybody at Mattel. I didn't know anybody in this brand world. But what I did have was a very strong work ethic and a desire to make sure that every single thing I did shone like gold, right? So I made sure that, because you never know who's watching, right? And in my case, Mattel was watching. I'm like, what the heck? Watching me? Girl, I was like, oh, okay. And so they were like, oh, we are loving what you are doing with our brand. We would love to bring you aboard and to style exclusively our Monster High and Ever After High brands. And it was like a match made in heaven. So I always tell my students, do your best work always. Only put your best work out there for the world to see because you don't know who's watching.
That's so good. I don't even have to, I can skip that next question because I'm gonna ask, how do we get them to see us? But one thing I heard you say as well is that you were using some of their brands. And
Absolutely.
so they recognize that as well. All right. So as a party stylist, one of your focuses was looks for less. What are some tips for throwing an amazing but inexpensive party together?
Yes. So I have lots of tips for that. And one of them is when you're styling candy tables. So you've seen those big candy tables when you walk into a party, it's like the woo when you walk in. And so girl, it will put you in the poorhouse real fast because M&Ms are real expensive. Okay. When you're trying to fill a jar about this big, right? And so one of my tips is, you want to keep the color palette the same, make it look uniform and pretty and match the theme of your party. But instead of going for those really expensive small candies, go for the inexpensive big candies. So I would fill a jar, like say I'm doing a princess themed candy table, and instead of going and getting the pink M&Ms, I would go and get a $1 bag of pink marshmallows and fill that whole jar up because it would take me $50 in M&Ms to fill that same jar that I just filled for $1 with a pink bag of marshmallows. And then just use the more expensive candies in smaller containers along your table. So that's a huge tip that could save you a lot of money.
I've paid hundreds of dollars, maybe even up to $500 for just a candy deal for my daughter's birthday party. And it's just like, that's genius. I love that. So
expensive.
Tonya, what's next for Tonya Coleman? I know everybody is ready to work with you. Everybody wants to know how to level up their parties. The world slowly opening back up, right? So we've got graduation, all the things. How can people find you?
Well, I'm really excited for Party World to open up. Let's just start there. And when it does, honey, we are going to be in such high demand because we are tired of celebrating in quarantine. We are tired of all the, ways we've had to celebrate on our own. We are ready to gather with our friends and families, right?
Yes.
So I am excited to train up and coach up fellow women who are doing this as a love. They just love it as a hobby, right? But they're giving their time and talent away for free. And I'm like, later for that. Like, you could be making money doing this. And let me show you how. So I would invite, if you are doing parties right now for your friends and family and you're not charging and you love it, your parties are amazing, come holla at me. We have a school. We just opened up the doors. They're open up until next Sunday. So you still have time to get in. I've made the course as low as I possibly can. I call it pandemic pricing. So get in now while you can. And you're right. Who you learn from matters, right? So vet me as much as you want. Come on into the fold and I will share everything I know with you. And you can start getting that paycheck for those parties.
Prime time. It's time to work with prime time people. Tonya, thank you so much for spending time with us today. And when we return, the conversation continues. I hope Lasha finds her way back to me. She's restarting her router. We got internet issues, but guess what? We will be at the table with Tommy Vincent coming up next. And also, much later, we're crushing it with Christy. We'll be right back.